Hello, hello,
Hey, how's it
hello.
going?
Good, you?
Good. You know I can't resist a link to be on screen. I'm just
No
crazy like
worries. Always happy to have you. Who's here? I see three people. Hello, Remy. You're first and second. Hmm,
that.
Gotta wait a little bit. How was your week?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I took my mom to the doctors, then they sent her for a sonogram.
Again?
Yeah. And this is it's something different. She's 80 some years old and she's having woman issues that she shouldn't have anymore.
She has
So
what?
woman issues that she
Oh,
shouldn't have anymore
oh.
at 86. Yeah.
You're supposed to
And
be that like that's like one of the good things.
yeah, yeah.
Older. Although it
And
does make your body age faster, but I'm sure that it's one of the positive things.
yeah, yeah, they're I guess they're gonna do a biopsy or something. I don't know. I didn't because I went in the doctor's office with her because I always do because I help her remember things. And the lady's like, the nurse was like, yeah, we're probably gonna do a pelvic today. So, and I'm like, I'll be in the waiting room. Not a
There's
problem.
things I don't want to see.
Yeah,
I've seen many things, but I don't want to see.
yeah. I I saw it once and my memory blocked it. So that's a good thing. We'll keep it there.
Selective memory.
Yeah. When you're first born, that's why you don't remember things when you're first born.
Hmm. Well, there's so many things happening at birth.
Mhm.
Like I'm just trying to remember, like your semi-conscious when you're giving birth, but like there's so many people inside that small room. There's a nurse for me, there's a nurse for baby, and then there's a nurse for just in case. There's the doctor, and then I think there's like 5 or 6 people in that room.
What is that light? Is that on my I think it's on my
You're touched by God.
yeah. Oh! Salvation is at hand. Tracy hand. Oh,
Sorry, I had to say it. Yeah. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Johan. Other than that, any positive thing going on in your week?
yes, I planted my kale
I
for
s-
inside. And then today, I was given the green light by those in the know to thin them out, and they're looking really good. That's the grow light. Oop, I got right in front of it now. That's the grow light back there that's going. I love that little grow light. It's only uses 7 watts of power. It plugs into a cell phone charger.
and then you just charge it and then put it during the night.
No, no, it. I run it most of the day because otherwise my plants will all lean at this time of year. But no, it's plugged in because I have the electric through the batteries, but it doesn't use as much like the big fluorescent grow lights. They use a lot of power, and
Hmm.
they would
I
just kill
have
me.
um, I have T5s. They use a lot of juice.
Yeah.
One like not this year because I'm investing so much on the homestead. I would like to buy because like the I have the sun blasters, and you
Mhm.
can convert them to Dell. So instead of buying a T5 bulb, you buy a T5, but it's converted to Dell. So I
Mhm.
would use up less electricity and there would be less heat coming out of it because the T5 does generate a little bit of heat that the Dell doesn't. I would love to convert, but like I can't do this year. I think like I have 40 bulbs to change.
Yeah.
That would be a lot.
Yeah, it would. And this was like 24 or 25 bucks. And with me being off grid, my only power is the solar and a generator. Um, Everything's either got to be on battery or low. And I don't know if they do this in Canada, but it used to be there was a UL listing on every box of electronics, like a coffee pot or a microwave, and it would tell you how many watts of power they use.
Usually on an electric device, I haven't checked that in a very long time, but usually on every single electronic device, there's like this thing on it that has the voltage and the
It's on the device, but going into Walmart when they see you pulling the stuff out of the boxes
They
because it's
don't
not
like
in the
you.
box. Yeah, yeah, you end up getting followed around the store a lot after that too.
Yeah, it's so there's no longer on the box.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
That on most things that I can find. Um,
Well, since Mr. Google Pants has a lot of knowledge, if ever that happens to you, um, I would, if I was in your position, I would Google it, like
yeah.
camera, this model specs, and then something tied to how
Yeah.
much it pulls. And I'm sure Mr. Google Pants or some vloggers would probably give you that information instead of opening that box.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
that
that
would be.
that's what I would do if I was in your position. Like some you probably won't find, but I'm sure popular models you will find because
Well,
you're
yeah,
not the only one going off grid.
right. But a lot of society is not worried about it anymore. Yes.
Well, now that people have to choose between heating themselves and buying groceries, I'm
Yeah.
sure that when you go to the store and you have an option of, let's just say, I'm giving prices here, $50 for an item. Both
Right.
of them are $49, or one is $55, the other one is like $49. So let's just say there's like max $10 difference. If you end up saving, I don't know, on a period of 1 year using it daily, $25 of electricity,
Mm-hmm.
I would buy the other model, like the model that would consume less, because you're like everything is costing so much more.
Yeah.
$25. I know it's not that much, but $25 here, $25 there. It adds up quite fast at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I end up having to do the same thing with wattage. Before I purchase anything, I have to figure out, okay, will my system, because I know um on if it's sunny out in the summer, I shouldn't have to run my generator hardly at all. But like even this time of year, it's starting to get better because we're getting longer periods of light and it's not as dark as it has been. But
Yeah, I realize it's getting clear at 5:30
yeah,
ish, 5:36.
and it is it's just one of those things where my electricity being off grid is uh it's a resource, a depletable resource. My I've only had it happen once when I was trying to see how long my batteries would go, and it was about 3 days of darkness. And then, but then it was 3 o'clock in the morning, alarms started going off saying your batteries are dying. So I'm scrambling around and it literally shut off. It lost power because the charge controller for the solar panels and um, the inverter charger is all run off the battery power. So while all these alarms are going off, they're using battery power. And I was trying to figure
Mm.
out how to turn them off. And then all of a sudden, everything just went black on the
At
screen
3 o'clock in the morning.
at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I ended up going out. I started the generator, and thank God everything booted up all right. But
Of all the times in the world to lose
yeah,
power, it had to be in the middle of the night.
yep.
Not 5 a.m., 3.
it worked out because I was here to fix it. If I hadn't been here, it would have been bad. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, so I don't want that to happen. So so I try
No, we
to
don't.
keep an eye on it, and I've got one generator down that I haven't done anything with the big generator since it stopped working. That was on your live stream.
Yeah.
It stopped working.
On a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is the kale going good?
Yes. Yes. It's a little tall, but when I thinned them out, I left shorter ones. I figure you've got the ones that burst with energy and they're quick starters and they're reaching for the light, and then you have the ones that take their time and they go slow and steady always
Slow and
wins the
steady.
way.
Yeah. From what I'm learning right now, when you have plants that are like super leggy, it's because you experience like many things at the same time. So warmth, cold, either lack of water. Going my memory now. So, and they're searching for the light.
Right.
Maybe your lights are too tall. Like I used to put about 6 inches above my seedlings, and from the course I'm following, they said that I should be able to fit my hand and have space over and under. So that I'm trying 4 inches, 3, 4 inches this year, and like um okay, I'm gonna say it in French, and oscillating fan.
Oscillating, yes.
Yes. So like you need it like for air circulation to make sure that your plants are moving a little bit. And some of the heat, because I have T5s, if like I have some kale right now and I have some Swiss chard, and I was never, ever, ever or cabbage able to start them from seed inside. So I have the light over 4 inches, I have the fan on them. They're very far from any heat mat. Like the heat mat is on the other shelf, and they're close to the door to go outside, so it's cooler there.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping like the heat-loving plants on the other side, and I'm hoping that the Swiss chard, the lettuce, all of that will grow this year. Because usually I have like this leggy thing going on, and then they die.
Yeah.
So I hope now they all germinated. My Swiss chards germinated and transplanted. My fennel germinated and transplanted. What else did I transplant? Tomorrow I have to transplant my kale, my and my Asian cabbage, and this is all for my tunnel. This is
Right.
not for my regular growing season. Like I'm buying myself, I'm experimenting 4 weeks prior than normally I would do. Like with the tunnel, that's a row cover, and I'm gonna put a row cover on them. And if need be, I'm gonna use old Christmas lighting, like to create like this little heat under. If like it freezes like really bad, because we have like these weird winters, spring thing going on. Like
Yeah.
we're supposed to be freezing right now. I'm not complaining. Today was above freezing, but like we're supposed to have like -10, -20s, and we have above zero
I was
today.
down, I was down to the end of the road just a little while ago with the tractor because it was all rutted up. The snowplow turnaround was all rutted up, and that was a good heavy gravel. And I think what happens is as the plows are turning around, they're actually plowing it, keeping it open for us. They're pushing the gravel off, and but it was all rutted up because we're getting all the big trucks, the construction vehicles and stuff to put the trailer in at the neighbors. They are awesome, by the way. I am so tickled
Is
that
that the young couple that just moved in?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and so, but it was all rutted up. So I took the tractor down there, and it was, I don't know what my high temperature. It got up to 44 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is quite warm. But it was just hard enough that it wasn't all muddy, mucky, and the tractor didn't make a bunch of ruts as I was trying to fix the truck ruts that were there and stuff. But
Mm.
because my FedEx guys are real, FedEx and UPS, they're kind of skittish about this seasonal road.
Well, I remember the first couple of years when I got packages delivered, they would never drop them off in front of my door. He's like, "Well, you have like very dangerous stairs." I have 3 stairs. I don't have 5, I don't have 10. I have 3 stairs. And they're like, "Yeah, but it looks sketchy." I'm like, "Come on, like I live like a couple of hundred, not even, like maybe 12 feet from the street."
3 steps, they don't have to step on the stairs to set them on the porch or on
Yeah,
the.
yeah. So in the winter, what I do is I condemn the last step. So like I leave the snow like on that first step. So they step on the first step without
Mhm,
knowing it, and then there's 3 more. So all they have
mhm.
to do is like lean and just like push the package. They're
Yeah.
so lazy. Like I'm
Yeah.
12 feet away from the street.
Well, this last fiasco, I had to go to the UPS warehouse in Rome to pick up my package.
Ouch.
And what's that?
Ouch.
Yeah. And then the lady's like, "Yeah, we're not open." I said, "I have a text message from a lady named Susan tells me I can pick it up between 9 a.m. and 12 a.m. It's 11:45." And she says, "Okay, come on in."
It's kind of
And
hard to say
yeah.
no.
And so, but I got hold of the UPS and I told them, I said, "Listen, can we, anything that comes to this address, if I said I keep the road good, I said I keep my driveway good. I said it's a long driveway. I understand. If they don't feel safe delivering it here, please have them take it to the Ava post office." And so far, I haven't had any packages not delivered that I know of. The whole, because they'll send them right back instead of saying, "Yeah, we have your package and it's at the warehouse uh, an hour from your, well, what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from your house." They'll send it back to Denver. And then I'm like, dude, it was so close.
There's no logistics behind all of that and no decisions. We'll never know. We'll never know the logic behind it.
No.
For my part this week, it was very uneventful. I am in the process of raising a pup. Uh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was like a big up. Like I was up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, so my eyes were like so small. Because like we got her, she was 14 weeks, and they can start to hold their bladder up to like 4 to 8 hours about now, 15, 16 weeks old. So the first couple of days we had accidents during the night, and had to get up and all that. My husband did nights, I do days. And Thursday was her first, no, was it Friday or Thursday? Anyways, one day of this week, like we put her in her little cage. She like whined just a little bit and then she fell asleep, and there was no accidents during the night. But I still have to wake up between 4 and 5. Then I go walk her. Then I sleep in the living room with her little bed next to me. And I don't want to wake up the kids, because at 4 o'clock in the morning, if like I put her back in a cage and she decides to be like feisty, all my kids are gonna be up. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna have like 4 problems, like, and the fact that I'm gonna be like sleep deprived and no caffeine at 4 o'clock in the morning. I choose my battle, so I stay
Yeah.
on the couch from like 4 to 6. I'm able sometimes to sleep half an hour, maybe an hour. So I go to bed very, very, very early. But today was our first. We went in the forest. A couple of like I think like 30 minutes away from the house. I have a film about that. I filmed it. I'm gonna make a montage, and on Tuesday I'm probably gonna publish it. It was
Nice.
super fun. The kids ran around with her, and I can't wait for them to be asleep, because before the live at dinner, they were kind of like, when you're tired and you're cranky and
Yeah.
you're 10 years old, like you just poke someone and they go, oh my God, and it's the end of the world. So that was dinner.
Oh
So
man.
they need to go to bed like right after the
Yeah.
Luna the dog is being in a course. So this week I thought it was a physical course that I had to go, but it turns out it's a Zoom call.
Oh.
So Thursday's live might be at noon. I'll see. Depending how, like, it is a 2 hour Zoom call on the computer. So if my brain is up to it, I might do a live, like either like right after or after lunch. I'll
So you're
see.
actually doing the training.
Yeah,
That's actually good for the dog anyway, because it's learning the commands as you
yeah,
learn how to give them.
yeah. Well, she's a husky,
Yeah.
and huskies pull, and
Yes.
they're runners, and but she's also mixed with German Shepherd, which with a good education they can do like so many things. So I do hope that obedience wise, she is more towards the German
Shepherd.
Shepherd, but her playfulness because of my kids, I hope she's like a pure husky that's going to remain like a baby for many, many, many years. Like the kids bring her everywhere. Like today they were mainly holding her, walking her, running with her, and they had so much fun. So I do hope that this like aspect of her stays.
Yeah.
In like at this point after a week, because today's a week that we had her, she sits, she lays down, she gives the paw, she turns. um I did something else with her. Sit. Anyways, I'm trying roll over. Today was the first time I tried roll over, and she's like, she understands it, but like she's like, you're not getting me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's more steps. And
We
like we're I think after a week, 5 commands. I feel like I've done a lot. So
Yeah, that's really
um
good.
I can't wait to see what the course is because it's behavior.
Hmm.
Like I want to work on the behavior. Like obviously, if there's a sock on the ground, she's gonna kill it. So socks, mittens, hats. I don't know why, but my husband's slippers. Why slippers? They stink.
That I don't know.
So like brand
Um,
new slippers that my husband put his when you have like feet problems, you put your things in it.
mhm.
You know what I'm talking about? She nibbles on the end of it. So and I tell my husband, don't leave your slippers laying around. Like I can police everything, but like with the kids and all of that, I don't have eyes like all over the place. So like
Right.
you have to help me out. So today I looked at his slippers. There's like a little chewing part. I'm like, please, tomorrow when you go to work, put your slippers away so I don't have to run after her all day because of the slippers. Other than that, I also started seeds. I transplanted seeds, like I said. Also, what did I start? I know I'm repeating myself. Sorry if
It's
I
good
talk.
information.
Yeah, well, I get this question like on a daily basis. What day should I start my seeds? When should I? How do I start my seeds? When I need to start my like I keep telling them, look at my lives, look at my videos. I have like specific videos, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to say it again. So for the tunnel at this point, I started my Swiss chard, my fennel, my spinach, my kale, my beets, lettuce, Asian cabbage, and for my seed sale, I started chives, garlic chives, and I started the stratification for alpine yellow strawberries. So and the next sowing session is it's supposed to be today. Is celery. So my official first seed that I sow for the normal gardening season is celery. I'll be doing that this week.
And that's for the normal garden?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Now, what's your last frost date?
My official frost date is May 12th, but I use May 18th.
Okay, because I'm using May 18th because mine is May 5th, or no, May 15th, I think. Or no, maybe it's May 12th. I'm in 5A, I think.
Go on almanac.com.
The farm the farmers old farmers
Yeah,
almanac.
put
Yep.
your
Zip code.
zip code. They're
Yeah.
going to give you your last frost date. And it's from there, just add 5 to 7 days to that. And
Okay.
then I use the Johnny Seed sewing calendar. And if you use May 18th, um, let me check. May.
I just ordered, and it I think that the total order, I don't know, $14, I think, and most of that's shipping. But it's a like a slide. It's a card that where the information slides
Yeah,
on
I
the
got
inside.
that one.
And I figure, well, gee, if I like it, then I'll get another one to give it away. Okay, you got to get down. You are not a thought.
So if your date is around May 12th, my calendar says about February 19th. I used to start them in plug trays. This year I'm trying a depending I have to check how much, but I'm gonna try a little box. You know those 3x5s or
Mm-hmm.
three by probably 8. 3x8s, about that. I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna start soaking my seeds because I just read on my package that you should soak your seeds for celery for a certain amount of time. I'll just put up all the seeds on the soil, add a little bit of potting seed starting mix, and then when they germinate, I will up pot them.
Okay.
But I'm not sure exactly because celery for me last year was the first year I was able to get them to where I wanted to be seedling wise. And then when I transplanted them, I heavily neglected them and they lacked water. When the heat wave was not there, they were little, but they tasted what they were supposed to taste, and they were awesome. I should technically, if this year I get too overwhelmed with celeries, all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop them all off just before the heat wave, and then cut them up, freeze them, and that's it. They're gonna be small, but they're gonna taste well. Worst case
Mm-hmm.
scenario, they're gonna regrow at the end of the season. You know when you can regrow celery.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get a second harvest of celery at the end of the season. Maybe that's what I'll do because as soon as the heat wave hit and they lacked water, they kind of became bitter and hollow. My rabbits love them, but
Mm-hmm.
the kids were like, "Ugh, mommy's disgusting." So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of scrapped all my celery.
Yeah.
So
Celery uses a lot of water.
yeah. Um,
Now, most of my seed packets, because I'm going through Remy, I saw his not flow chart, spreadsheet
Hi
that he,
spreadsheet. I haven't had the chance to look at it.
and I'm doing that with some variation of his, but the earliest to for stuff that I'm going to be planting outside that I can plant, I want to say is early April. The first, I think the earliest one was the first week of April for something. Um,
I have my sewing calendar with me, so I can help you out. April. What do I sew in April? So calendulas in April. Echinacea. Lettuce, chamomile, basil, marshmallow, milkweed, bee balm. End of April is summer squash, winter squash, pumpkins, melon, cucumber, sunflowers, and zinnias, nasturtium. Am I missing anyone? Anyone? Anything that does not ring a bell?
no, everything rings a
And then
bell.
end of March is where I'm gonna start. Okay, so in the week of the 20th, so end of March, is tomatoes, artichoke, ground cherry, oregano. straw flowers, green. No, sorry, that's another thing. Cabbages. The brassica family is end of March. And then at the end of that, March 30th, loofahs and flowers. So it all depends.
Just let's see. I am going by. Well, I probably looked it up on the internet. Oh, these are old. These are from 2017. So I'll probably will start the cabbages. Um, but it said, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks prior to desired transplanting date, which would be my May 18th.
So 4 weeks is April 18th, and then latest end of April, end of March. Sorry,
Yeah.
woohoo! Sorry. So around the end of March is when I normally start my cabbages.
Okay. Because, yeah, I don't know. I'm new at the planning inside thing. and, and trying,
There's one thing I keep saying to people that lacks light in your position. This is something that's very useful. If it says 4 to 6 weeks, go to the furthest,
okay.
because your plants will be smaller to manage, and instead of being like trees, it's going to be more compact when it's going to go outside. Because let's just say that you lack light and you lack elements or whatever, your plant will become stressed and then probably either like get longer, or have like a deficiency. You're going to need like, so your plants will get stunned, and then when you transplant it outside, it's going to need to recuperate from that shock. Example, tomatoes. If you're thinking that you can sow them on March 23rd, but you have a huge amount of tomatoes to sow, I would sow them the first week of April. Because that 2 weeks, yes, your plants will be just a little bit smaller, but they won't be complicated to handle since you don't
Right.
have that many lights. Or you're using your windowsill, right?
Right. Yes. I
Okay.
have the windowsill, and then I have the grow light there. I have like 3 shelves there, and I'm got to get a new grow light, another grow light. I want
Okay.
to convert that whole corner back there.
If you're using your windowsill, make sure to well, you're home most of the day. Turn your plants
Mm-hmm.
like so that they don't like curve, because when they
Yeah.
curve they get longer, and then by flipping them on the other side, they're going to still stay up instead of looking for the sun. Or there's a reflective material that's a sheet that you can buy. I paid, well, mine was a bit expensive because I bought it in the prime of the season, but you can cut it and like wrap it around your little shelving unit. Therefore, you're going to have the reflective part of the sun
Mm-hmm.
and also your grow light. Maybe that could help you.
Yeah, I know in Port Leyden, I took the reflective car, the window reflective things, and used that. Yes, and the husky side of your puppy, you're going to have to be very vigilant teaching her not to dig. My We had a full blood Siberian husky. She did like 3 things really really well. Um, she killed cats, and she dug, and she listened really well unless there was a squirrel or a chipmunk, and then her ears closed right off. She was pulling my daughter had her rollerblades on. She was pulling her down the road one day, and a chipmunk ran up a tree. It was great until Micah saw the chipmunk and went after the chipmunk, and the rollerblades hit the sand on the side of the road. And that didn't work out too good.
Oh no.
I think that was the last time she ever had Micah pull her.
Well, she's gonna have a fenced area just for her.
Yeah.
And technically the plan is she's supposed to follow me around.
Mm-hmm.
Like that roots and refuge dog Bear, like follows her around and just like sits and like follows her like a shadow. That's what I want. But I know that it's way too early for Luna to give me this year.
Right.
I would be like riding my unicorn like crazy, thinking she's gonna be quiet enough and like understanding enough at not even a year old to be next to me.
Yeah.
So when I'm gonna be outside, she's gonna be in her pen. It's gonna be her place. If she wants to dig, she can dig there.
Yeah.
After that, I'm gonna go through. We're gonna give her like us like a period of grace in adapting to this new thing. Like we've never had a dog follow us around.
Right.
And we don't come from a family that had big dogs. We have no experience. So we'll figure. I know we're gonna figure it out, but we're probably gonna make a couple of mistakes along the way.
Absolutely.
And I might have to grow a couple of tomato plants just in case, like she snaps them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case, because like I have in the back garden. I don't think I have my grow. No, I don't have my growing map. I have I think 40 paste tomato in the in-ground garden,
Wow.
and I have 40 in the raised beds. The raised beds she will have access to.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to heavily prune the bottom leaves the first year. Um, she was born November 4th, so I'm not entirely sure how old she
Three
is now.
three
Probably like
months.
she's gonna be
Almost.
three. Novembre, décembre, janvier, février. No, she's 3 months. November, December, January. She's 3 months. She's gonna be 4 months. Beginning of March, so she's
Yeah.
3 months and a half. She's very young. She's like it's a rehoming. So I know she was at her previous owners for about a month, 2 to 4 weeks. I don't know exactly how many weeks, and I got her last weekend.
Yeah. She's a beautiful, beautiful dog.
Yeah.
The best dog I ever had as far as obedience was a German Shepherd. His name was Shekinah, which is Hebrew for presence.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah. And that was the dog that we would go hiking or camping and we could take him off the leash. I would have a leash handy in case another dog was around or somebody else was doing the same thing. But I could call him back to me and he would come back to me. I could tell him to stay with Wendy. He would stay with Wendy. It was just didn't matter what was going on. He was, in fact, one day, I was playing around. We were playing around. We lived in a trailer and I was playing around with Wendy and we're standing near the door of the trailer inside, but near the door of the trailer. And I said, Wendy, I said, act like you're mad at me and like I hurt you or something. And she said, no. And she kind of pushed me away a little bit. That dog's paws, which were huge, hit me he was just a puppy, hit me in the chest, pushed me out the door and was growling. I'm like, Wendy, call him off. I'm going to have to kill him if he bites me.
Yeah, those teeth are very, very. I don't know if you guys can see it. She bit me once, and like a couple of times. Those things are like razor blades. I have to be
Yeah.
very, 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 very careful when I play around with her. Like they're pups, so same thing with the kids. The kids have that phase; they put everything in their mouth.
Yeah.
Well, puppies play the same way, but their teeth are like sharp, like
very sharp, hypodermic needle.
yeah.
Sharp.
This like she only like nicked me. She didn't bite me. She only nicked me, and that thing hurt like a.
Yeah.
It hurt.
And that's just play. She's just learning how much pressure she can put on your
Yeah.
hand and still be playing.
Yeah, like I this is one thing I have to correct. Like I acted in a way. The first time she did it, I looked at her and I said, Luna, ow, like I like exaggerated it, and I turned around. And then
Mhm.
she started to like, and she sat, and I was like, oh my god, it worked, it worked. But the second
Yeah.
time she didn't do that, so I still have to work on that part. I was going to suggest leash training and call back training around. Yeah, um,
Yeah.
we're bringing her to a canine school. Like I'm investing. Well, it is an investment, but I don't
Mhm.
want to take any chances. Like this is like since it's a rehoming, and her previous owners did not take her outside. This is I find this weird. Like a husky that was never brought outside. When I
Yeah.
showed her snow for the first time, she went bazunkas.
Oh,
She was like jumping, biting the snow, and I was throwing snow at her, and she wanted to eat it. Like I didn't
they
understand.
love it. And
They love the
it's the
snow.
funniest thing because all winter long, you're like, well, I don't want to leave them out too long because they come in with that and everything, and I don't want them to get cold. And but then in the spring, there will be one little area left of snow, one snowbank, and that's where they'll lay. Is they love the cold and the snow.
Sorry, I got a message from my husband. I thought there was a
Nope.
problem with the kids. I know that the husky loves the snow, the
Mhm.
aspect of that. But the German Shepherd is also a good dog for colder temperatures.
Yeah.
It's not the best,
No,
but there's only the shedding part that I might have a hard time with because I always
yeah.
had dogs that were not. It was like hair. My previous dog was a Shih Tzu.
Hmm.
They molt maybe once a year.
Yeah.
And her, I never let the hair or the fur of my animals get long, other than in the winter. So right now, Theo, my Yorkshire, which is not fur, it's like almost like hair. I let him keep his hair from November till March, and then I trim him really, really short
Hmm.
because like he's so small, like he's as big as my boot. You should see Theo and Luna. She wants to play with him, but he's an old fart. He wants nothing to do with her. He barks at her, growls at her, and Luna's like, I just want to play.
20 years ago, that would have been great, youngin.
What? He's only 5. He's
Well,
only
yeah, but in dog years, 5 times 7.
well, he's in
Yeah.
his 40s. He's
Yeah.
not an old fart. They're starting to warm up to each other.
Yeah.
Starting. I know there's a long way to go. I've been getting that question like behind the scenes. How is Theo doing with the new dog? I know that the first day he was not impressed. He's like, "Mommy, what is that?
Yeah.
What are you doing?"
Well, they have a
Now,
pecking order too. They
yeah,
gotta establish their boundaries and stuff like that.
I think that. Well, also Theo was a rehoming.
Hmm.
I adopted him when he was about 2, 3 years old, and he was barking a lot. But now that I've been following certain like TikTokers and trainers, and I'm starting to figure out why he was a barking dog. Like you said, there was a pecking order. So when he arrived at his new house, there was a dog that was there. So he was not the first male there.
Right.
And he hated when like when me and my husband kiss, he barks.
Yeah.
When the kids come up to me and I give kisses to the kids, he growls. He's like, no, she's mine. So like I'm
Yeah.
starting to
Yeah.
understand a little bit. It's like a complex of inferiority, but for a dog,
Yeah.
since he's so small, he wants to take all the space, and he barks and he wants to say, hey, I'm the law here, and I have to go like, whoa, you're the size of my boot.
They don't recognize
It's
size. You get a little dog like that, and even when Luna grows to full size and everything, which is her being husky and German Shepherd could be kind of large.
Well, the husky was on the smaller size.
Yeah,
The female. She's probably gonna be about 50 pounds. So I checked online. Well, since it's a mixed breed, you never really know what you're gonna get.
right.
But like it's called a Shepsky
Yeah,
German Shepherd with the anyways. And it says between 40 to 55 pounds. So she's a female, so she's gonna be on the smaller side. And the husky was on the smaller side. So I'm guessing she's probably going to be between 40 and 50 pounds. And I'm a short, so she's probably going to be like over my knees,
yeah.
the height wise.
And you will probably never see your small dog bow down or back away
Mm-mm,
from her because
mm-mm.
she doesn't. The small dogs, they just don't realize I'm not big enough to be doing this.
He bites her. He bite like he goes. He's okay. He's this long, and he's this tall. Okay, just a little bit taller than a sausage dog. Okay, and he looks at her and he barks, and he snaps her, and she looks back at him like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
I should film it. It's like a sitcom.
careful, dude. I don't want to step on you there, shorty. Yeah,
And then so Luna like nibbles on him, like just on his butt, and he goes crazy. He turns around. It's like sibling war.
yeah.
Hello, Darren. I hope the same with you.
Annie or Darren.
Bridget. I always say hi to Darren, but I know Bridget's like right behind.
Yes.
Hello, busy little house. Um, yeah, so I know it's going to be a learning curve, and this is why we invested on the training. And I'm not only going to do the first course, I'm doing it's called kindergarten, and
Mhm.
then I'm going to do adolescence, and then I'm going to do obedience for adult dogs. And from there, there's other options. So I'm gonna start with those three courses back to I'm hoping to do them like back to back to back, being done probably like around September, and from there we're gonna see like if she needs more, because I know from what I've read these dogs need to be stimulated physically
Mhm.
and mentally.
Yep.
If they're not doing at least half an hour of like hardcore running activities, regardless their age, and same thing with their minds, they can actually be very aggressive.
Yeah.
She's not an aggressive dog, but if like her needs are not met, she can like bark, ask for attention, and then like have like that destructive attitude if you don't like bring her outside. So
They get even.
yeah, they get even. So
When
that's
Micah would sleep on the bed with Wendy and I, and if I had to tell her no or something that day, she would crawl in between us, get under the covers. And if I had to scold her really bad, there was one night. I mean, it was usually fun and kind of cool because I'd roll over to put my arm around Wendy, and I would see a husky looking out from under the
like,
blanket.
what do you think you're doing?
Yeah, and I swear she would smile but and then but there was one time I rolled over and I said, well, the dog's there, I can't get to, and I went to roll over again, and that dog farted right in my face, and it about stripped the paint off the wall, woke me up out of a sound sleep, woke Wendy up. Her The dog's son, we named him Trouble. He was a mix. She was a pure blood husky. He was a mutt. He was a mix, but he got up and left the room. It's bad when other dogs leave the room, and I got the full force of it.
First-handed.
Wendy says, "Yeah, you had to get on her yesterday, didn't you?"
My little one sleeps in the bed with us because he doesn't go outside. I plan to change that also. I know that he won't be able to follow us like on half an hour walks, but like I'm hoping like to bring him along and change that aspect because he was a pee pee pad trained dog, and I'm having a very hard time like educating him to go outside. He's like very hard headed little dude, and Luna does not sleep in our bed. She goes outside in the backyard where there was chickens and all of that compost manure, and I have a cat that comes here, does his business.
Yeah.
So the only place she's allowed is on one of the couches.
Yeah.
Like it's an older couch. Because like I would have to wash everything like on a daily basis. I know that you can't be like a neat freak when you have a young pup, but like the bed, I would have to wash it 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
And with everything I have going on, the fact that I added a dog to the matter of my life right now, I'm gonna give like myself like rules, like not on my bed or on the beds of the kids, but like I'm gonna
And setting the boundaries now is really good
yeah.
because once they get established with this is my spot, it's really hard to dissuade them. And once they get under the covers, you ain't getting them out unless they want to get out.
No. I know Theo was worried because she was sleeping in the cage every night, and he was like looking at me the first night. You're not gonna put me in a cage. Like, no, you still sleep with me. And he's this big. Okay, seriously, he's this big. And when that little decides he falls asleep, he doesn't fall asleep like like a normal human being. He falls asleep like side with his arms up.
Yeah.
Takes all the
Yeah.
place in a little bed. He's small, but God, he takes place.
Yeah.
I know it's an investment of time and money, but I really want to have like a dog that I can walk around, and if ever by means the leash falls off, or like today the leash fell, like one of my children Luna pulled and the leash fell on the ground. Like I really want her to know that we are her people, and she has to listen to us, not like just run like a chicken with no head.
Right.
I've known too many people who don't get the training. Well, it's not only the dog that suffers, it's also the humans taking care of it because they go through frustration, and sadly, sometimes they're going to take it out on the dog.
Yeah.
And it's a vicious circle. I have a border collie and a blue heeler mix with border collie. What's a blue heeler? I don't know what a blue heeler is.
I'm picturing something like a Springer, a Cocker Spaniel, or
That's a beautiful dog.
oh yeah,
That's a
yeah.
beautiful dog. Love the color of the fur. So a blue heeler mixed with a border collie. The more work at the start. Yeah. Well, she has to unlearn what she's learned in her prior home, and at the moment, the thing that I'm having the most problem with is she doesn't pee outside. Like I walk her at 6 o'clock. Well, my husband walks her at 4. I walk her at 6. I walk her at 8. I walk her at 10. Walk her at 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, and just before bed. And she still manages to pee inside of the house.
She found her spot.
Oh yeah, she right in front of the door. I'm gonna give her like A for like E for effort.
Sometimes that comes in handy. Like my cats, if they catch a mouse, which I've got an Adirondack mouse trap. Trevor and I both bought the actual covers that where the mouse goes under the little piece of it, but it's a trap door and it tilts and they fall in the bucket, so you can release them later, or you just put 4 or 5 inches of water in the bottom of the bucket and don't worry about it. But
Different ways.
yeah, my cat was hunting over that. He was sitting there just watching it. And I'm like, dude, you're kind of killing the reason for the mousetrap. I spent $20 for that. Let it do its job.
Go
But
get others. Find
yeah,
yourself another spot.
yeah, when they kill a mouse, they'll leave the tail, sometimes the spine, um,
Ew!
by the door.
Ew! Treasures.
Yeah, yes, little presents.
um, my sister's husky was another breed of dog. She was more human.
Mhm.
I see those like on Instagram. There people love to transform their huskies into like this like stars, and like they make them do like so many things, like chit chatting, singing.
Singing, yeah.
Oh, God. But anyways, I don't have any plans for that. If I didn't have a homestead, maybe. Uh, like I just want a good dog.
Well, it'll be fun because once she starts recognizing certain words like Luna, do you want to go out? One then she will get used to what those words are, and when she wants to go out, she might decide to tell you vocally and just go
Well, I don't mind that. I
and
don't mind.
then you'll be like, do you want to go out? And there's a very good possibility she'll go, yep. Our dogs, there were certain one or sometimes two syllable words that you could understand. Yep. It was pretty cool.
I wanted a Australian cattle, well, farm dog. I didn't know they were called blue heelers. I was not meant to get a puppy this year. It was supposed to be like when we decide to move, if ever we decide to move. But when I saw the face of Luna, oh my God. And like my friend's like, she needs a home. She needs to be rehomed. And I'm like, well, it's an investment. Like it's even though it's not the full price of the dog, um, it's a financial investment and it's
Yeah.
time investment, vets visit and all of that. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'm gonna have that blue heeler dog mixed with something else. We don't know. We don't know. We'll start by this one, knowing if we're meant for bigger dogs. Um, from one like every single cattle type dog, German shepherds or any type of shepherd dog, everything I have read online, unless the dog is not properly trained, all I'm seeing is positive things. Family dogs, loving dogs, loyal dogs, temperament very very calm. Obviously you can't really talk about their puppy phase because they're not calm when they're puppies, but
Yeah. Yeah.
everything I was reading from that breed was good. But everyone said invest time now to
Yeah.
train your dog, and you're gonna have a wonderful, like I think it's an average of 12 to 17 years,
Yeah.
so 15 years. So it is a big investment. 15
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Blue heeled, but he had a heart. Oh no.
Aw.
Well, since this is like the story of our dog is a husky owner that had an unoperated female, got caught by a loose German Shepherd like in a couple of streets back. So I don't have papers. Like all I know is Luna. That's it. So I could find something down the road, but we're gonna pray that everything goes
Yeah.
well. I'm sure that you're already gone, but I hope you have a fantastic evening. Our basset hound is bilingual. However, we just adopted an older sled. I saw that. How is the adjustment doing with that older dog? Uh, Also, our dog was in an English household, so I have to teach her French. I know it sounds weird. So when I tell her, like, come, so I say come, and then I say the French word at the same time. And at one point, I'm going to stop saying come, and I'm going to transition to viens, viens à moi. So, but my kids, they're learning English at school, so they're practicing English with Luna. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna.
Mercy.
Well, they're nursing their English language, so
Yeah.
I can't really say don't do that because like it
Yeah.
defies the purpose of them learning the second language. I was almost fully bilingual by the age of my daughter. I was exposed to the English language. I was the age of Cedric. I was 6 years old, and I was fully bilingual by the end of that summer for a 6-year-old.
Nice.
So if they can speak English by 12 years old, like understand what they're saying, have a fluid conversation by 12, I'd be very happy.
Well, yeah, because if I remember right, your dad made you guys spoke English at the table.
Yeah,
Well, it was like a crash course sink or swim thing, and
yeah.
you can't really do that at your house because your husband
Doesn't speak
doesn't
English.
speak
Well, no, no,
English.
no, no. He's okay.
Well,
He says he does not speak English. Okay, that's what he says. But like his work, he needs tech support. So he's the tech support in French. So for the entire province of Quebec. So when there's a problem, they call him and he troubleshoots. Sometimes his knowledge, he doesn't know everything, so he has to call the tech support in Dallas or in Mississauga,
oh,
in Ontario. So, and I listen to him talk, and I'm like, and you say you don't speak English. Like he
right?
has a full-on conversation with a person that only speaks English from Dallas. You know, with that potato in his mouth, with the accent. Okay, I have a hard
Sweetie, that's not a
time.
potato. That's usually chewing tobacco.
Anyways, I was being polite. So
Yeah. Sorry.
I speak very good English, and I can understand, like, if you don't get too technical with me, I can follow practically any conversation. I have a hard time understanding when I was working the Dallas techs when they were calling me and giving me like specifics and stuff like that. I'm like, can you write it down in an email? I'm going to read it and translate it, and then I'm going to call you back. He speaks with them. He has no issues. Technical, hardcore, electrical, hydraulic, mechanical stuff. He has no
Well,
issues. And then he says to me, I don't speak English. I'm like, you.
uh-huh. So see, what you don't know is the first 3 months of you doing live streams, he's been standing at that door listening, saying, okay, I'm just making sure everything's on the up and up here.
And then when we went to pick up Luna in Ontario, he ordered coffee for us. And I had a look at him, and I'm like, do you realize you ordered 2 coffees, double double, and you asked for a specific apple strider donut? And you're telling me you don't know English? Like you were able to order a full on. Well, I know it's simple, but
Well,
anyways,
no, that's operational English. That's what I speak.
yeah. Anyways, I keep telling him the only reason why he says he does not speak English is because he's scared of his accent, and he's scared that because he does not understand, people are gonna laugh at him. I'm like, the people that do laugh at you, tell them to go and like
Yeah,
move on. Like at the age you are
absolutely.
now, who gives a crap if someone does not
Right.
understand you? And my like his boss is English only, and sometimes like I write the most like specific important emails for him, but when his boss calls him, his boss makes sure to speak slow,
Mhm.
simple words, and ask him questions. Fred, do you understand? He says, yeah, I understand. And he goes back and forth, and he's been working for that company for 15 years.
Yeah.
So he just says he doesn't speak English, but he speaks English. Banffs love the couch now. Oh, Banff is his name, right?
Yeah, the new dog.
Was scared of it at first, and now why would it be scared of a couch?
Maybe he was not allowed. I don't think he was allowed in. He was a sled dog, if I remember right.
Yeah. Oh, sled dogs
So
sleep outside. No.
yeah, he might not have been allowed inside, or
Oh,
maybe there was a couch he wasn't allowed. How's Odin doing adjusting?
Odin must be so happy.
Yeah.
Australian cattle dog also come in red healer colors. I prefer the blue one, like the bluish gray.
Uh,
From
there's a,
Quebec. I'm also from Quebec. I'm a Frenchie. Yes, we're Frenchie speaking. Well, no. Darren is an Ontarian converted into a Quebecois. We are English, French, and Spanish. Ooh, I'm space. What's this word? Spaniard?
Spaniard. It's a male Spanish person.
Really? I'm learning something new tonight. I don't even know how I ended up here. Someone must have said Quebec. Well, I am a Quebec channel. Thorhaven Farm is also Quebec. Little Homestead by the Beach also, that's present here. Some of them are like Learning Curve Acres is from Ontario. My dad spoke to my brother and I in both English and French, and we spoke French until I was 8, when my mom, who refused to learn, insisted we stop speaking French. No, I can barely introduce myself. I find that sad. My mom limited my English because my mom, same thing with Fred. My mom says she does not understand English very well. She doesn't speak it very well, but she's very good. She's fluent. She hesitates, but she can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Now with her brain accident, English is a little bit harder for her, but she still can manage to have a conversation. It's like slower than usual, but she managed. So she limited my English exposure. Like I had English TV a certain amount of hours per week. English movies was like, I would have like, when we were young, like VHS, those cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would get 3 French and then 1 in English. But I hated the ones in French because it's not their actual voice.
Yeah.
So when I listened like to Aladdin, it was in French. So now I watched it in English. I'm like, what the? I don't understand what they're saying, but it's the original language. So my mom says you need to be exposed to both languages, but I want you to be exposed primarily to French.
Yeah.
Because you're French Canadian. I want you to speak good French, and English is a second language, is not as important. But as I am growing older today, I now understand that you need to learn as much as you can the younger you are. You
Right.
don't need to use the language like now, but you're a sponge the first 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out 2 to 3 languages in those years, of those 10 first years of your life, but then only use English and Spanish later on in your life, it doesn't matter. Like, because now 3 languages are taught in school. I was taught French as my mother tongue, and then English as a second language, and I had a third language introduction in high school as Spanish. But if that Spanish course was introduced in preschool, like the first couple of years, I probably would speak Spanish by now. Now,
Yeah.
all I know, I know basics. Uno cerveza por favor con limón.
That's
Mucha,
not basics.
mucha fría. That's Spanish. It's 1 cold beer with lime, extremely cold.
That's functional.
That's
That's
functional. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamas Anita. So it's, I'm staying in French. What's your name? My
what's your
name is
name?
Annie.
Miyama Trejo? No, I forget what my name was in Spanish.
I don't know. Bye, Tammy. All I know is Annie in Spanish is Anita. That's all I know.
My niece, she was they grew up in the Dominican Republic. Well, they didn't grow up; they were still little kids when they were here. And she got over here, and when her father married my sister, they put her in school, and one of the very first teacher conferences, the teacher's like, we need to figure out how to get her some extra help. And she's like, well, what kind of help does she need? She's like, well, English. Tammy's like, what are you talking about? She had persuaded her teacher that she didn't speak any English, that all she spoke was Spanish because she was fluent in Spanish. And she was fluent in English too, but she didn't tell the teacher that. She was getting extra attention. And
Little.
yeah. And but now she's a Spanish teacher. So
Well, we need those. We
yes,
need
we
we
do.
need teachers. Banff lived outside outdoors. They had a kennel where the dogs live. They are free to go inside and outside when they want. Hmm. How old is the dog again? I forgot. I'm sorry to hear about your mother. My mother also had a brain issue. Actually, no. That's horrible. My mom had an accident on a electric scooter. She was not wearing a helmet and she fell face on, head first. And it's a miracle that she's out of the hospital. That's
Darren's
what the doctor told her. You lost 10% of your brain, so 10% of your brain died. Probably will never come back. And she's able to function on her own. She can now drive. She lost her car, lost her driver's license, and lost her mobility because she fractured two of her hips in the process. And they let her heal. Then she had to go through the testing to know if her eyes, because one of her eyes is damaged. She had to go through the eyesight, the physical examination, the if she's able to be on her own, and she passed it. But she will never be the same.
yeah.
But I don't know what this a mosquito bite. That's
Um,
horrible.
yeah, West Nile virus was we had a big problem with it, or it was going around. It was the big C of the early 2000s, late 90s maybe. Um, but it was transmitted by mosquitoes, and it's a nasty virus.
So we have to be careful for mosquitoes, for ticks.
Oh, be afraid of everything.
Yeah, be afraid of. Well, no, I don't think afraid is the right word. Be educated of everything.
Education, because
Educate.
90% of fear comes from lack of education in a subject.
Yeah. Brain injuries are so frustrating. I have one, and I have a difficult time following a conversation, a crowd. Um, my mom had her accident in the prime of COVID, so she was isolated at the same time.
Oh man.
And we were so social. Like as a family, we were so social. We would go to events and all of that. But because of the COVID, we never really went back to socializing normally. So I don't
Mhm.
know if my mom would be able to like be in a crowd,
Yeah.
like a crowd of like even if it's family members, like 30, 40, 50 people dancing and all of that.
Yeah,
I
when
don't know.
there's too much going on, the stimulate. I have problems with crowds from my PTSD from the war, but there's too much stimulation. Your mind is telling itself it has to keep track of everything, but it can't.
No.
And so that's where my problem
They didn't
lies.
really explain to me the um now what she's living with. All I know is that well, it seems to be a private subject
You know.
because like she's in her 70s. So the brain is like such a mystery. Like the fact that she recovered was a miracle. The
Yeah.
fact that she woke up was a miracle. The fact that she can walk is a miracle. And the fact that she can have a normal conversation is a miracle. So we're just gonna take it, and if like the older you are, the more reserved you become,
Hmm.
regardless of the situation in the world right now. And the only thing that the pandemic did to our families, because like since her health has now switched to very fragile, she no longer exposes herself to, I'm going to say it this way, danger.
Right.
So
What-
if anyone in my family has like the sniffles, she doesn't come at my house at all. Even if I tell her that it's not that.
Right. Well,
I
yeah.
understand. I totally understand. but it made her, it
Well,
changed her a little bit because like now she's terrified of it.
yeah, it put her in a with the age and the problems there. It put her in a at risk category.
Yeah, well, her age puts her in an at risk, and then her health conditions prior to the accident, and then the accident.
And then when you lose something like that, when you have something like that happen to you, you're sometimes you overcompensate a little bit in saying I want to avoid everything that might, because I've lost so much already.
Well, you lose. She lost the eyesight. Like now it's back. She lost part of eyesight, the mobility. Her car. My dad sold her car, and you're not like they ask for your driver's license. Like she lost, well,
Yeah.
not everything, but she lost a lot, and she was isolated for a certain amount of time. And then like you're thrown back into the belly of the beast of the society, and you are expected to like adjust.
Yeah.
So now that she has her driver's license, she still does not drive that much.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing like when all of this craziness is over, hope soon, um, she's gonna find the courage to actually like go a little bit further because it's gonna be 2 years this year. So, wishing I learned French when you should watch that movie Bon Cup, Bad Cup with it's a Quebec movie with Patrick Huard. You're gonna learn French. Good French. I'm being
Yeah.
sarcastic. I'm being very sarcastic.
So I was 6 years old. I thought French was swearing
Yeah, well there's a lot of swears.
because
And then,
everybody would say, "Pardon my French."
yeah,
Pardon my...
in this movie Bon Cup, Bad Cup, Patrick Huard, which is well, the main character, one of the main character, he uses swear words as verbs. And he's explaining to the English cop how to conjure the verbs, but it's swear words. And they're translating it in English. It's hilarious. It's a really good movie.
So it's
Good cop, bad cop.
good cop back. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Bon, because I was I can say Bon Matin now because of chatting with you guys and stuff.
You don't
And
say the N. You say bon
Bon
matin.
Matin.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't do the bun. It's if it's
Okay, so it's Bon
Bonne,
Matin.
then it's a female, so it's bun. But if it's masculine, it's bon.
So it's Bon Matin.
Yeah. You're learning French.
Yes. My teacher said I would never amount to anything.
Hello, Daniel. My mother got life support for 2 weeks. She's come back a lot, but lost a lot. Yeah. And since the brain, you never know. Like
Yeah.
the first neurologist that met my mom, she says, "Do you believe in God?" And my mom said, "Yes." It's just like your brain can come back, but it's like it's a muscle. So you need to do stuff to train your brain. If you don't train your brain, it could or it won't. Like I can't tell you. It's a flip of a coin. It's your brain that's going to decide if it's going to heal itself or not.
My understanding is brain tissue, once a section of your brain is dead, it can't start again, but your brain rewires itself with what you have left. So
Yeah.
like a section that might have took care of analytical thinking might rewire to take care of speech
Yeah.
or something to that effect.
But like the specialist says, like this is the knowledge we have, but
Yeah.
like it's this big.
Yeah,
This is
we
the
don't.
side of the brain. Like
Yeah. We have
but
no idea how the brain works.
no. And with everything going on, like I went to the eye doctor with my son Philip, and 2 years ago his eyesight was perfect. Like he had no complications. And I was finding that he had a hard time reading. And I went with my youngest, Cedric, and she says, well, he has this thing in his eye that it's called astigmatis.
Astigmatism?
Yeah. And she says, I asked her, what is that? I have it. So, but I've never gotten explained. And she says, well, if it goes to a point, well, you're going to have a hard time reading. So I'm
Because I
like,
think it's like a shutter in the eye,
well,
kind of.
your eye goes like a football.
Yeah.
And like, so he can't see, he has that. He can't see from far. He can't see from close. Like, well, not bad, but he needs glasses. And his focus is lazy. So his eyes are lazy. And she says she's seeing this pattern in young, not teens, in the younger generation because we're being exposed to technology too much. And
Mhm.
we're like zombieing a screen.
Yeah.
So if that changes happened in the last 2 years, our brain being stimulated to whatever food, computers, blue light, the sun, blah, 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 like studying the brain you can figure it out now, but then tomorrow it could be totally different.
Right.
Or in 5, 10 years, it can be totally different because we are exposed to different things, different
Right.
technology, different vibes, different whatever. So
Yeah, I went to the ophthalmologist, the eye doctor, the other day at the VA, and we went through the cycle with my right eye, and she's like, "Is this better or is this better?" I'm like, "Well, they're both blurry," and she said, "That's okay for now, you know." And I was driving home. She switched to the left eye, and that was what she had was perfect. On the ride home, I'm like, did we ever get the right eye in
figured
focus? I
out.
don't remember. And I got the glasses in. Nope, we didn't. So I've got to call them tomorrow. And
Oh no. Well, I do hope that my son, with the glasses on, it can solve most of his problems.
yeah,
I can't not believe like I hired a special teacher for my son. She comes 3 times every 2 weeks, and I told her I can't believe that the school didn't pick this up.
yeah,
I cannot believe that the teachers did not think when was his last eye exam. My insurance covers every 2 years, so I go every 2 years with my kids. But knowing this now,
yeah,
I'm gonna go every year.
yeah,
And like I have glasses, my husband has glasses, so the chances of my children having glasses are quite high. Like
yeah.
my both of my parents have glasses, both of my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, both of my sisters are wearing glasses, so I know it's like genetics. Like my
Mm,
children will have, but like Philip is 8 years old,
yeah.
and she says that it will help him tremendously. So I cannot wait for those glasses to come in. It's going to cost me a fortune in glasses.
Yeah.
So his eyesight got worse. Well, I don't like the word. Mine got better.
Hmm.
So I'm getting older. So she's like, you're gonna go through the celebration of like your eyesight getting better, and then once you reach that peak of 45, it's gonna go down again. So she's like, from 30 to 45, I can't see from far, and I needed to drive. Like if I'm driving and I don't have either my solar glasses or my regular glasses, I can't drive. Like I can't see. Well, I could drive. I could figure it out. But like if a cop would
Yeah.
stop me, I would lose my license probably.
Yeah.
So I was pregnant with Cedric, and my eyesight was minus 2.75, and Cedric is 6. And so we were going up every like 0.25, 0.5, 0.5. So I'm at minus 1.25. So my eyesight from far is getting better. But then she's like, well, Annie, you're starting close too. So in a couple of years, my eyes from far will be perfect or nearly perfect. But for reading, I'm going to go like, I can't read.
These are reading glasses, and these are my normal glasses that I wear to watch TV or normal. But these I use for the computer and reading because I can't do bifocals. My eyes.
Fred had a very hard time adjusting. He actually missed a step, like, and he smashed his on the ground, poor thing, and it gave him nausea.
Yeah.
for a couple of days. And then he was calling the eye doctor. He's like, I'm not feeling well. He's like, okay, you need to look up. And if you want to look down, you need to do it gradually. Like you
Yeah.
need to, and you own like one day it's 1 hour, the second day is an hour and a half, the third day is 2 hours, then 2 hours and a half, and you have to go in increments of 30 minutes. If you go like and you put them on all day, you're gonna barf.
Yeah.
And she said, I was there. I was there when he picked up his glasses, and the little shit just weared his glasses, and he felt like he felt sick for a week. He's like, I'm gonna train my eyes. Like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was pregnant with Philip, I think, when he got his glasses. So I had that thing going on. He had that thing going on.
Well, maybe he was going through sympathy
No.
nausea.
No,
No.
well, no, maybe he did go through. He did gain weight. I was gaining weight in my first pregnancy. I gained so much weight in my first pregnancy. It was terrible. I think I
Isn't
gained
it
like
amazing? You gain 65, 70 pounds, and the kid's only 7 to 10 pounds.
I gained 55 pounds for Emilia, and she was almost 8 pounds.
Yeah.
And I gained. I didn't lose it all, and then I got pregnant with Philip. And then I was very careful because like my doctor was worried about my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I gained 40 pounds, but like the baby was 6 pounds something, and then there's liquid.
Yeah. The
Like,
embryonic fluid.
so there's the liquid, there's the placenta, and then there's something else I can't remember. So as soon as the baby's out, like you lose like maybe half of the weight you gained.
Right.
But with Emilia, everything tastes so good. It's like food. Like I love to eat. Like I have no problem with food. Like I have a good relationship with food. Like if like you give me a burger, I'm gonna eat the burger with my eyes, my nose, my ears, everything. But being pregnant made food taste so good. I was eating so many fruits, so many salads. But then my other pregnancies, like certain food, were like making me sick. I couldn't smell garlic.
Oh, wow.
With my last one, I couldn't smell garlic. It was making me nauseous. I couldn't smell soy sauce, fish. I love fish, and you have to eat fish when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't smell any Asian dish. It didn't work at all. And like I had like from the day I found out I was pregnant till the day I gave birth, I had complications every single day, either food or losing weight. Like the day that I gave birth to Cedric, I was lighter than the day I found out I was pregnant.
Hmm.
And the baby was almost 9 pounds. He was huge.
Yeah.
He was huge. Like she told me he was 8 pound, like, and then she's like, just a little bit more, he would have been 9 pounds. I'm like, thank God he was my third.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, he was huge. Like he's all of my baby. Like I had 7 pounds, 6 pounds something, and then almost 9 pounds. But he was long. Thank God he was long.
Now you could tell your daughters, well, if your brother would have been born first, you wouldn't be here. Because I would have said, nope, no more.
No more. Well, I'm done. If I'm blessed with another soul, I will bring another soul into this world. But if I get to choose, I'm done.
Yeah.
My dad learned French driving a taxi. That's a good way of learning it. I hope he learned the good words, not only the bads. Beautiful area. You have quite the art center. I think you're talking about Australia, right? We love watch documentaries on different countries. I just watched a movie that was on Netflix. It's a little girl that's 16 years old from Australia that she does the around the world in a sailboat. It's based on a true story. I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's a very interesting movie. As a mom, seeing a child, 16 years old, being responsible enough to do in a sailboat solo in the south to do around the world, and like you see her through her ups and downs. And I know it's a movie, but like I was like,
well, I believe it's inspired by a true story because
yes,
I've heard of those.
yeah, it's in 2010.
Yeah,
I think
and
2010, 2011. And
Mom and dad weren't far away. They were either I think they were in a trailer, a boat trailing in case of emergency, a big boat.
in the
Uh,
movie, like the parents are at home.
oh,
I don't know, like the true story. I don't know the full extent of it by Marcy.
Mercy.
But in this movie, the parents stayed in Australia
Oh, wow.
because they have two other children, and they're if they assist her, she's disqualified.
Right. The one that I'm thinking of, the parent, they weren't allowed to get within so many
Miles, probably.
miles of her, but they could be outside of that circle in case she got in real trouble or
Yeah.
something like
So
that.
the mommy heart, like I'm not going to tell you the punch of the story, but that she's in a position that her parents think she's passed because
Oh,
they get like a signal that there's a distress on the boat, and like they think the worst, yeah, obviously, because like you're so many miles away. And as a mom, I'm crying. My children are next to me. Mama, it's only a movie. I'm like, I'm a mom. Like, I'm a mom. There's a kid that's 16 years old. One day you're going to be 16 years old. I'm going to have to let you go into this wild world. Let me cry.
yeah, because in mom's mind, that's you out there.
Yeah. Like, well, in 2010, a 16-year-old is not the same thing as a 16-year-old today.
Oh, thank God. Because a
So
16-year-old today,
technically, no, 16-year-olds today, they're not the same. They're not. I remember when I was 16, I was responsible. I was almost driving. So today, I don't know. Maybe here in Canada, the driving age will might go up. I wish it goes up because here you can start driving at 16.
well,
In
down here, they're wanting to let them vote at 16.
oh, we vote at 18.
Yeah, 18. 18
I think it's
is
19 in Ontario.
but man, 16-year-olds, they've already come out and said your brain doesn't fully form until you're
21.
21.
21.
And if if you happen to be the gender that carries estrogen, let's face it, you're basically certifiably insane until you're like 36. So,
Estrogen is for a woman.
oh yeah, you caught that, did you?
I might be blonde, but estrogen is for a woman. We do have testosterone, but we mainly have estrogen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I can go. I can do the boys with testosterone. They're boys until
But
they're
that
twenty
wouldn't be
one.
true. That would be girl crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Boys between the ages of 16 and probably 36, or okay, 16 to death, are girl crazy. But women between the ages of, I'm going to say 13 or 14 to like 36 are just certifiably gone. They're insane for the most part. No offense.
Well, I was a mom in my late 20s. And I
Have,
married. I married 12 years older than me. So
have you ever gotten mad and then had someone explain to you why you shouldn't have got mad and said, yeah, I probably shouldn't, I might have overreacted. Not did, but I might have overreacted. Have
I
you ever?
only work around men. So if ever one man comes talk to me and tells me those words, I'm gonna go, can I have your temperature, please?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say that to a woman's face. Oh my
um,
goodness, that'll get you
I was
killed.
never really able to function or feel in my place working around a woman because of jealousy. Women are so jealous at like corporate. I don't know why. Um, um, I was young. I was blonde, blue eyes. I maybe was like a stereotype, but they gave me such a hard time. Thank God corporate was like not in my office, but my office where I mainly work was mainly men, and they don't talk. If they have a problem with you, they're going to say their peace of mind. They're
Yeah.
going to tell you to off. In the next day, I want to go for a beer.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So I never really had a coworker tell me that I was overreactive. I did have one that told me something that stayed with me all my life, and he just told me, you're too passionate. You're way too passionate. You take everything too passionate. I'm like, I'm like, flip it. If I lacked passion, if I had zero passion, where would I be?
Yeah.
If I have passion, it's because I love what I'm doing. But if I have too much passion, it's a problem. If I lack passion, it's a problem. So I was like, really? I'm like, this one I don't understand.
Yeah. It is so much easier to when the relationship between guys is so much easier to negotiate or to navigate than a relationship when a woman comes into it, because it's like you said, if you said something that's going to upset me or that upset me, I'm going to tell you that upset me, and we're going to work it out. But then 10-20 minutes later, I'm done over that. My wife and I had the perfect relationship because 5 minutes after a fight, I had forgotten it and she had forgiven me. So we were usually pretty good.
Well, I'm not saying I'm forgetting, because well, when you're fighting, there's a disagreement.
Right.
So if there's a disagreement and you talk about it,
Yeah.
I forget it because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
But if it lingers, that's a different story. I need to have that pep talk. If the pep talk is done, like, I was mad, you were mad, we said bad things, da, 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 okay, we're done. Okay, good, bye, finish.
Yep. You worked it out. It's over.
Yeah.
See,
But
that's
with sometimes with kids, it's a little harder.
yeah.
It's like the timing sometimes, like, you start the conversation when the timing is perfect, but then the kids wake up and then da da da, and then like you're young parents, and it
Yeah.
kind of slips through the cracks, and then the situation gets back again. So now you have to undo the first one, talk about the second.
My wife and I had we had a couple rules. Number one, if it got bad enough where we felt like we needed to leave the premises, we would always say, "I'll be back."
Right.
And one day she walked out, she got in the car, started the car, then she got out of the car and started heading back in. I'm like, "Oh, she wants more. Come on, bring it. I'm ready to argue." She opened the door and says, "I'll be back." Slammed the door, got back in the car and left. And then we everything ended at bedtime. We had this thing that we said, and we did say it mad once in time. I good night, sweet dreams, my love. I'll see you in the morning, bright and early, and I love you always and forever. And that would go between us, and it's hard to be talking to somebody like that and remain mad at them, because you're getting to the root of the relationship. Okay, even though I'm mad at you, I still love you.
Yeah.
Once you get that understanding, then you can survive any fight, any argument, because you know that that person still loves you, and you know that the love, okay, she's not happy with me right now, I might not be happy with her, but we're going to get through this. Neither one of us are giving up. There's nothing I can say that's going to make her leave me. Well, there were a couple things but I never said them because I knew. but uh but that's it just blows me away how something so simple as nightly saying good nights and declaring our love for each other at night.
It makes it easier to fall asleep, and then
Yeah.
mm.
Then you can start fighting the next day.
Yeah. I just got a message from my husband. Things are heating up downstairs with the dog.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to have to let you guys go. Thank you for popping in, chatting. It was fun. Um, I don't have a specific question for Thursday. So If anyone has a specific question to me to answer on Thursday's live, pick up any video, or when this video is done streaming, just comment there. I'll write it down. I'll make sure to answer it. And well, that's it. So I'm going to wish everyone to have a fantastic week. Thanks for popping in with me, chatting with me, and we'll talk soon. Bye,
See
everyone.
you.